Looks like we're live. Yep, sure enough. Alright, now what to do. Select a hammer, line up, press jump. And here we are knocking rivets again. Come on, you can do it. Whoop, nope, not that. Come on. Whoop. Good morning, country lady. I'm running solo today. Joro and Icy were not doing well. Both of them sounded pretty bad. Good morning, Calamity Bob. I hope you and Buddy are doing okay. Yeah. Good to hear, Bob. I know John is getting his new medication tomorrow. I hope that sets him back on the straight and narrow. And now I'm carrying too much. You know, I've had dogs ever since Randy and I got married, and um, she came home one night and said, a nurse that I work with has a 7-month-old miniature dachshund male, and she's looking to get rid of it. Can I have it? Yes. I wasn't really a huge dog fan at that point in time. And she came home and I said, yes. I like making her happy. And we got him, and he had a problem with he wanted to chew on table legs and such. You know, that 7-month-old puppy teeth is his thing. And probably the number one reason about why I wouldn't have an 8-week-old pup right now to save my life. But I got wrapped around my heart. He was such a smart dog. He won me over with his smarts, and I've been a fan ever since. I wish we had another dachshund. However, Taz is plenty smart. I mean, you know, we've had a lot of dogs, and most of them hated getting into the crate, and that was something we did with our first one, Dylan. When we went to work or whatever, he got in the crate, and that was that. There was no, he didn't have free run of the house if we weren't home. And, you know, that kept him honest, and he wasn't chewing. We had just gotten a brand new dining room set at the time, which we still have 25 years later. And I wasn't going to let him get in trouble. You know, it'd keep him in my good graces for him to be in the crate. And we've done it with everyone we've had. We actually had to return a dachshund we had 2 years ago because he just couldn't stand being in the crate. It was just too much for him. He was a great dog, but he just had his moments and just not home enough to give them the attention they required. Cats don't require quite as much as attention. Our cat would probably rather us leave her alone. I had cats in my youth and developed an allergy to them when I became an adult. I don't know why. I had been around them all my life. You know, used to, if we saw a stray that looked like he needed help, you know, we would pick him up. And at 18, I went to the vet with a friend of mine with 4 of her cats and almost couldn't breathe. It was just awful. And two Christmases ago, 2 came to my door and needed help. Rescued them both. Developed allergies. Yeah. For as much as I wish Taz was a dachshund, because I really do like, it's going to sound weird to say that form factor, you know, they're something. They're very cute, no matter what. And but he minds better than all the rest of them. He can be a little zoomy. He can be a little sassy. You know, I'm sure, like I've said before, he sees us coming with the leash going, God, I've got to walk you folks again? I mean, we walk 2 miles a day and he goes with us. And, you know, it is what it is. But he's in a home with old folks, and he gets 100% of the pets and sits in a lap pretty much any time he wants. Good morning, Darlene. He hadn't got a bad drill of it, you know. I'm sure there are days he wonders, how do I get out of this outfit? Gosh, you guys are walking me to death. Last Friday was Buddy's Gotcha Day birthday. Yeah. How long have you had him? I've had him since they assumed, since he was about 2 or 3. Yeah. Yeah, dogs are wonderful companions. I, you know, couldn't see my life without one. There are days, why do I get up? because that dog needs something, and it, I can honestly say it keeps me moving, but we keep him moving. Yeah, our first dachshund lived to 15. Our second one, we had her for 9 years. She lived to 11. We got her when she was 2, and somebody had mistreated her. And boy, she was a pitiful thing. She was, whew, you could look at that dog wrong, and she'd pee all over the place. We got her from a preacher's wife who lived in an antique house that when I'm talking antique, I'm talking everything was antique. Arthur and Gwenny both made it to 19. Yeah. And she was having problems potty training Sophie. And Sophie was a kind of a mid-size. She wasn't a mini dachshund, but she wasn't a full-size one either. She was small for a full-size and a little too large for a mini. Dad wants a little dog, but I'm afraid it will get under his feet and make him fall. His stability isn't great without moving obstacles. Yeah, I get that, but I also know that, motivation to get up and do something is a powerful thing. Arthur was AKC registered mini dachshund. Gwen was a mutt Chihuahua mini pinscher. Yeah. Yeah, we had 4 dachshunds. We had Dilly was first. Sophie was our only girl, and she was second. Oscar, who turned out to be my boy in the end, he stuck to me like glue. I miss that little dog, I really do. Was third, and Chance was fourth. And Chance came to us as a 12-year-old. Best thing we ever did with ourselves was give that little guy a place to stay. The Post announcing that he was available for adoption from the rescue we were associated with had over 1,000 posts on it. But I picked up the phone and called and said, hey, we just lost a dog. We had just lost Sophie in April, and we got him in June or July. It was July. And we had all the stuff for, a second dog without a problem. One more was no big deal. And it was one of those things that we went and got him, and we named him Chance because we took a chance on him. And he was a good dog. I kept saying when his first pictures we saw were absolutely crushing. It was heartbreaking to see. They got the people that had him got the dog as a puppy, and once he grew up and the kids stopped messing with him, he pretty much, I think he had a doggy door and was trained to go in and out the doggy door and basically took care of himself. And I really don't think they were putting a lot of food in front of him. He was 8.3 pounds when we got him, and when he passed, he was 12. He really had it rough. Kept saying he needed a cheeseburger, and we never got him one. And he loved my wife. Didn't realize until later that he was blind. That he knew when my wife came and went. He knew when she walked out of the bedroom. He knew. He's a smart dog. He kept wanting to think that Oscar was his girlfriend, but Oscar would squash. That's the only time I ever heard Oscar growl at anybody. He was such a friendly dog. If Chance started messing with him hard, he'd go, nah, I'm over it. We're not doing that, and you're not doing that. And that would usually put an end to it. Okay. And I'm carrying too much yet again. Lovely. Oh, and landed right beside the truck. Truth be known, I could scrap this and go on to another ship. That's what I wanted to see, just what was holding that on. Well, I wanted to go a little higher than that, but it is what it is. Country lady, I have to ask what you're working on today. I need to get up there and go from the top. I do. I don't wanna, but I'm gonna. Spreadsheet hell. Ah, fun times. When I went through accounting, there was no such thing as Excel or anything like that. It was all long form by hand, handwritten. I really did think about becoming an accountant. I thought about it hard. I Small business accounting was fun. Corporate accounting, just about drove me a little bit batty. Spreadsheet hell. I'm sure that there would be some difference to that going from strictly academic setting to actually doing it out in the world, because I know computers were like that. The lady who was here before me was old school and did a lot of stuff by hand. I've since converted everything to the computer, and that's probably, quicker. And while I get the old school thing, I gotta say, I have a generator in my backyard that I put a starter on it so I wouldn't have to pull start it, but didn't wire it up. It was a year and a half or so ago. I should have done it all right then and not messed with it. Well, I got my next door neighbor who is a mechanic to come look at it because, I'm not as sharp as I once was, even though I was a fair mechanic. I just wanted somebody else to look to make sure I wasn't doing anything stupid. We agreed about what was there and what needed to be done. I soldered 2 wires yesterday, put about a 6-inch extension in both wires. So that means I had to make 4 solder joints and then hook it up to the starter. I picked the heat of the day so it wouldn't be quite so cold outside because the cold weather was coming in. It was right at 60 degrees. I was standing on my head on my back porch, and it was just like, whoa, good grief. It took me forever to solder all that. My hands shake so bad now. It was like, at least I got it done. My next door neighbor offered to do it for me, and I said, nah, I think I can get it. And I could, but I can't tell you it was any fun. It sure woke me up to the fact that I'm not in as good a shape as I would like to be in for as much as I walk 2 miles a day. I need to come back here and do some light housekeeping, or we're going to get stuff all over the place. Come on. Oh, I need to go up. just, yeah, that was like when I started working for the state of South Carolina. They were using very old technology in their network, and we upgraded it, pretty much all of it. We were doing uh, gigabit networking out to the offices. Hell, when I left, we were getting ready to do our main building with 10 gig to every floor. I didn't get to see that come to fruition. I put in the infrastructure, helped put in the infrastructure to do it. There was 3 or 4 of us. It wasn't just me, but okay. Don't do that until you go and do this. Yeah, when I started working for the state of South Carolina, I walked in and they had a device called a RAS. It was, oh, good grief, I can't even remember what that set of initials mean. Basically, it was a computer with 8 modems in it so people could call in and connect to the mainframe. Old stuff. And buddy, we took that thing down, and we gave everybody, ample amount of time. We sent out emails, we coordinated it with, other people, and so on and so forth. But even then, we still had people get a little bit crazy. Anytime you make a change in a institution that's that big, it was, I was so happy to get that off of our network, though, because it was such a security risk. All right. Why aren't you... There's something going on with that panel that I cannot. Okay. Buddy got a small snack too. Absolutely. No, I'll tell you, Taz is very smart, and he knows he gets a treat at 7 o'clock at night to do what? Go sit on the bed. If he can't handle sitting on the bed, he's got to get in the crate while we take a bath. It was... Well, I don't know why that is still there, but it is. Buddy's snack was a tiny bit of lettuce and some shredded cheese. A little bit of salad. Yep. My wife will be eating something and the dog will be begging, and she'll look and say, "This is such and such. You wouldn't eat that." I said, "You're eating it." Yes, he would. In a second. He loves it. No dressing. Just a little bit. Yeah. Let's knock these walls down here. best he can. Yeah. I was telling you about our dog Chance. He moved to Texas with us, and here we have a back fence that we didn't have in South Carolina. And Buddy, he loved going out in the backyard. But he was the only dachshund we've had that was smart enough to stay with us if we let him off the leash. He liked knowing where we were at, and it you know, upset him if he didn't know where we were at. And that was when I realized, yeah, that's what you think goes through his noggin. Yeah, I wish I could get into Taz's head sometime. He'd just look at you like, no, we're not doing that. Are we going walking again? Let's see. Over here. Down through there. Ah. Bob always had the adventure spirit, so he wondered, had to go get it. He never really got in danger, but was always curious. Of course, can't see, so we got to keep him close watch on him. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I didn't realize that Chance was blind until much later on. He was so good at masking it that, okay, you got to go back outside. And I really want to be up there, so let's go be up there. Yeah, I've actually got a video of Chance. We walked out the front door of our house in South Carolina and walked all the way through the backyard with him. And he followed us every step he went. And he knew. He was a very sweet dog. Kayla will give you a look if she isn't in the mood to be petted. I can imagine her thinking, you better have your Band-Aids ready if you touch me. Joro, hope you have a good nap. Thank you for dropping in. Now I've been told the water dish is out. That's a pretty smart dog. If he's tapping his foot in the water dish. Oh, I want to get back up there. Damn rough today. All my tablets are out of my system, so I'm falling apart. Yeah. Excuse me. And you're still carrying too much, even though you don't want to be. Bub has water. Ask if that helped. Got a light nose bop. Yep. Maybe, just maybe, if I work this right. Come on, that wasn't what I wanted. Oh. Now let's go over here and see what I need to work on to get this one off. Okay, I think I see it. a fair amount of money in game. I might go try the Fuso again. But he's wandering around the house. Don't want him to bump into too many things. He's just giving his nose a workout. If you ain't changed the furniture lately, he'll probably do all right. I understand. That wasn't exactly where I wanted it to wind up, but it'll have to do. Okay. Dad is back at the computer, and there he goes. Yeah, dogs are very perceptive. Ours seems to know when we're getting ready to go out, and he knows if my wife is fixing her hair that we're getting ready to. Wednesdays are our day to leave the house because I've got acupuncture. And considering how cold it is today, I might tell my wife if she doesn't want to go with me, she doesn't have to. I mean, the first few times I went, I said, go with me just in case I get out of kilter and can't drive. But other than that, now that I'm used to it, it's not bad at all. And I'll be the first one to tell you, that's probably the best $70 I spend every week, because it really does make a difference. Or it does to me now. Roads are pretty bad. A couple of local friends are saying stay-at-home roads are awful. But that's up here, yeah. There was either snow or a very heavy frost in my front yard this morning, and the temperature right now, oh, it was 21 at 6 this morning, but it's 20 now. But my backyard thermometer said that it was 17 and said it was wind chills of, and that's one thing it really took a long time to get used to about living in the plains. You know, I've been on the East Coast except for the 3 years I spent in Alaska all my life. You know, all of my adult life. I lived in Texas as a kid because my dad was stationed here. But this is confirmation of it being cold. You don't tell me a dog don't know. Because I can ask him if it's cold and he won't do the sneeze if it isn't. That's great. Yeah, when we walked out this morning, Taz was all hung up looking for cats because he knows they're around in the neighborhood and he don't like them. Finally shook his leash a little bit and said, hey, we don't have time to look for cats this morning. You got to get moving. It's too cold for all this tomfoolery. He got right on with the business of business. That's what I wanted to happen. 35 here. Yeah. Oh, this is definitely not something that, we're used to. Yeah, did I used to live in Alaska? Yes. Does it bother me? As far as it being cold, no. But as far as my arthritis, oh yeah. I can tell the difference. And do I have all manner of long underwear and t-shirts on and long sleeve shirts? Yes. Wind chill's 12, it's -2. Ooh. It's 12, wind chill is -2. Whew, whew. Yeah. Officially it was in the 20s, but in my backyard it was 17. The only good thing about the backyard is everybody has a fence and there's a little bit of a windbreak. The front yard, though, once you get out from behind the house, whew, it is tough. see what the coffee situation looks like. One swallow in that, and a full cup in this one. I don't know whether you all saw in Discord that Mayhem has made another golf course, and it's called Easy Mayhem. It wasn't easy to me. It whooped my backside pretty good. Okay, well, I'm stuck. So I'm going right over there where there's a little bit of floor. Coffee situation, never enough. Yeah, well, I usually bring a 16-ounce cup, and then I have a very big thermal cup that we got from a bank we used to bank with that keeps coffee very warm. And it's like, it's not quite 2 cups of coffee, but it's enough. I can usually get through an hour and a half with it, or pretty close. Come on. Well, and I drink decaf, and like Icy said, that's just hot colored water. And, I've said it, it was just a habit that I got into that I didn't want to give up. So you figure it out. That I'm still on good floor. All right, good deal. It ain't all going to drop out from under me. Now, I actually didn't drink coffee until I went to Alaska and was in my 20s. And then didn't really drink a whole lot until I got married to Randy, and she's from Minnesota, and they drink coffee, no matter what. I have a big Yeti that I have had over 10 years. It's never failed me. Yeah. Okay, I've got to crouch and then start. I have to say, if it hadn't been for yesterday, we wouldn't be as far along in this ship as we are. Icy and Joro make a tremendous difference. Come on. The inside is well seasoned, yeah. Oh, and I'm carrying too much. If you can make it all the way over, nope. Well, I was hopeful. All right. I don't want to fall all the way down there. Maybe only part of the way down there so I can clean up. Hey, that worked. There's nothing in that. I could get all of that off the top of here and get that engine out. I think that's the thing to do. there, how's the job hunt going? Unproductive, but have not given up hope. Absolutely. Has anybody seen or heard from Shaman this morning? That's the one person I can think of that's here most of the time that we haven't laid eyes on. Having a fibro flare up. Yeah, and that is true. That fact had slipped my mind. She has a good head on her shoulders and is the voice of reason most of the time. That's fibromyalgia is something I've never been diagnosed with, but I have enough generalized pain. Just ugh. I can say it's easy. She said something to me about she had 14, hours video for something. I didn't ask what, and I can sit here about 3, maybe 4. Swap out a pillow or something and keep going, but I cannot sit and do this all day long. I've got to get up and move. I walk 2 miles a day, and buddy, I can tell when I don't. And right now, today, considering how cold it is and windy, the wind chill stops me more than anything. If it wasn't windy, I'd probably be out there trying to walk. I'll probably be walking around my coffee table. And it might not sound glamorous, but my hips can sure tell when it don't. All various streams she either mods or supports. Yeah. Yep. Okay, I'm going to knock this and see whether or not I can get that engine out. My brother and I played Ranch Simulator Saturday from 1 p.m. till almost midnight. And that Ranch Simulator looks like a good game. I have just, I used to watch Game Edge play that one quite a little bit. And that new Southwest Simulator DLC looked good that Amp and Andreas were playing. I hope I'm full. Oh, Lord, there's still a lot more to this one than I thought there was. Oof. And I've got to get, well, I don't have to, but it would be nice to get the skiff out. Let's see here. Will this work? Oh, yeah. Haven't gotten the DLC yet. There's 2 more DLCs I need to get on this game. Floating cities, and I want to say cruise ships. That I should have went ahead and got. Really enjoying this. Plus, this was the first game I ever tried to do with controller, and right now this is, I need to get Planet Crafter back in the queue. I need to get the ice biome straightened out and finished. The controller is helping, or I wouldn't be here. I hate to say. I can tell. Yeah, I can't even pick up the keyboard because it hurts me so bad to sit and use the keyboard on this game because there's a lot of repetitive motion between your middle finger and your index finger on your left hand, and for some reason it really does me wrong. But a lot of games are like that, and the controller is helping. Oh, looky there. I had forgotten all about that. Gold, copper, kerosene. Ah, glad it's helping you. I know you enjoy streaming, and we enjoy watching you, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that more than you know. I have two different kind of controllers. One is an Xbox copy, and the other one is an original PS3 controller. And I've played PS3 a whole heck of a lot more than I've played Xbox. I've never even had an Xbox. Why are you still telling me that you can't do that? Oh, I can't do that either. Oh, now I gotta get the darn thing out. I can't even save with that thing. There is a bug in this game. If you throw anything in that yellow skiff and you save it, everything you threw in it is lost, and there's no getting it back. So that's, lovely. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Well, now that I've started using you, there's no stopping. I am grateful for you all saying that. I've never been accused of being well put together and sorted, and that anybody would want to watch is kind of surprising to me, but it is what it is. I can't say that I have a good opinion of myself sometimes, and my opinion is not everybody else's opinion, no matter how much I think it might be. So, and I need to remember that. It reminds me I have to pull out and hook up the console I've acquired through the years. Yeah. My son gave me a PS3 years ago, and it had a bad CD reader in it, and you can't swap them. They're married to the console. So you can't just go and buy another one and swap it in. It won't work. So I sent the CD reader off and got it fixed and refurbished. I have a fair few PS3 games. Now let me see if I can pick that up and knock that down, because I think that's what's in the way of this being able to go. Yep. Well, gosh, my son had a regular Nintendo when Super Nintendos were a thing, if that'll tell you how far off the mark we were. There was one day, he was, good grief, in high school. Excuse me, came back in from a girlfriend's house, and he said, "I'm glad I watched you work on computers all those years." He fixed their computer at his girlfriend's house because he had a fair idea about what I'd been doing. I've been working on computers forever. I think we have a PlayStation 2 in a closet somewhere. I had a PlayStation 2 Slim. That was a very neat thing. I think it went out in the purge when we left South Carolina. Gotten a number of consoles that were left in rooms and such. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had an original Xbox that I wish I hadn't have thrown out. It was unmodded, and my boss, when I worked for the county, was moving, and he said, "I've got this box of stuff. I can't do anything with it. It's just cables and such," and it had an Xbox in it. I used that thing, a fair bit, but not for games. I had one game for it, which was Halo, and I just couldn't wrap my, I didn't at that point in time work with a controller all that much, and I couldn't wrap my head around it. And the controllers that he had with it weren't great. That's why I have an Xbox controller. I still have the original Sega Genesis. Whoa. Those were something back in the day. I remember seeing them and messing with them. Let's see. Let's get down here and... Oh... And that is all the way on the top. Okie doke. Come on. Further forward. I have a PS2 here somewhere. Memory cards, controllers. My son had a fat PS2 that he took with him when he moved out. That, you know, we never played together. That was his, and boy, I've still got a whole bunch of stuff to take down. How to get back up there? I think there's going to be only one way to do this. That's hammer the ceiling out. No, I will say the whole controller thing has worked out pretty well. I've not been unhappy with it. I even pulled, I have a 6-button gaming mouse that I pulled out of one of the boxes. I was looking for a power supply the other night and stumbled across it and went, I might give that a try. I don't know how to program the buttons on that thing. You used to, Windows had a program in it that would let you do it, but I also haven't spent a heck of a lot of time messing with it either, so this job in real life, you would absolutely get your brains beat out. Are PS2s worth anything now? Probably not. It would depend. I mean, there are certain games of which I don't know what they are that would be worth something, but as far as the devices are still pretty easy to get. You could go on eBay and see what the going rate is. Well, I tried to get you, and it fell. Yeah, at one point in time, I was heavily into Ataris. That was my first computer was an Atari 800, and everybody lumps them in with Commodores, and the games were similar and could be ported, back and forth between them because they were both running the same main CPU, but uh, the way the computer operated, like on an Atari, you can take Atari 800, 400, 800 XL, and I had about all of them. I was cleaning out people's basements to get the hardware for them for just pennies on the dollar. And on an Atari, you can program them to boot off the disk, much like, a modern IBM x86 based computer. And Commodore doesn't have that. Yeah, the only one that would, mint in the box. You're probably right. I learned a great deal. Heck, I learned how to hack those machines. I could copy uncopyable disk and all kinds of fun stuff. That was really what got me interested in computers. I cut my teeth on BASIC on an Atari 800. And and I know people that still, for a nostalgic thing, still run them. I mean, I moved up to an Atari ST, which at the time was better than an IBM. Graphically, they were fantastic, just fantastic. And country lady, if you do pull your PS2 out of the closet, remember one thing: clean the connectors and make sure there's not 14 pounds of dust in them, because it will really make them be a little crazy if you don't. So if you, clean the memory ports and a little rubbing alcohol with a Q-tip or something and make sure it dries out before you go and use it, you'll have a much better experience. Well, and there's no floor there, and none there either. Oh, I need to push that one down. What I need to do is do some housekeeping, because yeah, if like there's any corrosion on any of the connectors or stuff, you could really get uh, bad uh, graphics out of it and whatever. You better also make sure that you've got a TV to connect it to, um, because most of the connectors are now not well supported anymore, because those things don't have HDMI on them. They've either got a composite out, which is also called an RCA cable, or they've got a proprietary cable running into an RCA cable, and there's a lot of TVs that won't do that. I get the feeling I might not be able to get that thing that's so far above, but we'll try. Oh, yeah. Yeah, may have to find a converter box. I think we have an older TV with a hookup for it. Yeah, that would be the ticket. They actually have people that are modding PS2s to put an HDMI port on them, and it's kind of fiddly. I don't solder good enough to even attempt it, but it would make it to where you could, just plug it into any old TV and you'd be good. Yeah, retro computing is a thing, and it's got a big community behind it. Has anybody heard or seen if AMP is streaming? Oh, you got to get those right in the middle of the floor too, or it's not going to work the way you think it is. I don't see anything in Discord. Well, I can't go any longer today. Today's Wednesday and I've got acupuncture. And I don't want to. Well, that's. Well, that's unhappy because I actually feel somewhat decent and it's comfortable temperature wise, and I'm having a reasonably good time. But if you can't, you can't. One rivet like it would stand up there. I think what I'm going to do is knock as much of this down as I can. I've finished all the contracts and I'm going to scrap it as the last official act. Let me go start cleaning stuff up because just because. Yes, I'm bad about cleaning up in game, and I'm not any better in real life. I hate to say, well, I am some better. I mean, I'm not. Hell, I've actually helped do laundry and a few other things this morning before this came along. Come on. However, this game is so buggy sometimes that it is in your best interest to clean up after yourself. I would love to get those two engines out of there, but that ain't gonna happen. No, go back there and clean up what you were cleaning up to begin with and don't get started on something else. I'm only a little scatterbrained. What in the world? I'm between floors. Oh. Oh, come on. Was this trip really necessary? That was crazy. And I am back here in this and can't get out. I know Amp's head has not been good lately. Up the steps. I would think. Kind of wasn't where I was. It kind of was, and it kind of wasn't where I was trying to go, but it worked out. Now, from the top. And that's why it didn't break. Oh. There was one day I stretched, and Joro said, "Sound to me like you need to go pick up your backbone." Well, now that you mention it. Should have known it'd be the odd one. Come on. Why are you being this way to me? Sounds like popping bubble wrap sometimes when I stretch. Yeah, oh yeah. There's something to that. Yeah, I think the biggest enemy of aging is gravity. You know, that you've been upright and walking for 40, 50, 60 years, and it all just starts weighing on you. Let me see if I can get that. Yes, I agree. Like Rice Krispies, yes, absolutely. The whole Snap Crackle Pop gang. We have learned with my spinal cord scarring about the enemy, gravity. Yes, yes, there's absolutely something to it. And there is one single solitary rivet. I know a lot of mine is weight related, but dieting and exercise takes time I don't have, yeah. Well, just remember one thing. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. And my wife is the hardest driving, hardest worker. She'll make you tired just watching her work. She goes at it with vigor. However, when her batteries run down, it's bad. So for as much as you know, are busy doing things, don't be too busy for yourself. I wish I'd have started a heck of a lot earlier, and I could have. I just didn't get off of my lazy backside. And that's no indication that I'm saying anybody's lazy, because I know how real life is, and I know how life gets in the way of the best intentions. We walk pretty much every day around the neighborhood, and I think we've shamed some people into walking, because we've seen a lot more people walk since we started doing it. And yes, we have the time to sink into it, because if you walk out the door to go up the street, it's 3/4 a mile from one end of the street to the other. And, you know, it's, you know, we've seen people out walking, and we probably know more people on this street than we have any place we've lived, because we get out and walk. It's been an unexpected benefit, working full time and taking care of my, yeah, and I totally understand. I do. My mom asked me the other day, said, "What do you do when you don't feel like walking?" Get up and do it anyway. Because, boy, can I tell a difference. Okay, I think for all purposes of this game, or this ship, we're pretty much done. Let me get out of there and go get these. Hey, look. Oh, you're carrying too much. Country lady, I give you mad props for being your dad's caregiver. That ain't an easy thing. It's it's hard to see your heroes go downhill. Watching my dad and I were very close, and it was a heartbreaker. Whoop. And no, I can't drive. Yeah, by the time I fix supper and bathe, it's time to go to bed. Yeah. Oh, I still don't have enough liquid to upgrade the crate. Let me. Oh, that wouldn't be terrible, but that's a next time problem. Well, I'm going to buy it. It'll be here. It's hard to see him this way. He was always so active, worked all the time, either job or at home. Still always made time to take us camping or fishing. Yeah, yeah. My dad was always funny. Always had a level head. Didn't graduate from high school. Was um, you know, he still he did a lot of things. Yeah, I don't know how he did it all. I understand that. I, yeah, my dad was an alcoholic, and like I said, I fought him for the car keys when I was 13 years old, and after we got the car keys from him, he looked up at me and he said, I never thought you'd ever do that. And I walked out in the backyard and cried. I thought my dad hung the moon even when he was drinking. And that took up a lot of his time. We had a good relationship from age 14 on. I mean, we had some moments, and, you know, you can't have everything. Makes me feel like a slacker or a wimp when I can't get everything done. Yeah. And don't you think there were times he felt the same way, you know? And that's the thing about adult life. You sometimes don't know everything that's going on until you live it. And that's uh, sometimes a you know, tough thing to learn. All right, folks, this is where we're leaving it. Oh, man. I hope that you were entertained, and I appreciate all of you being here. Um, I know that I've been playing this game a lot. I'm trying to figure out something else that I can be comfortable playing and play, ergo, you know. But I nonetheless do appreciate it uh, more than you know. Calamity Bob, I'll be back tomorrow, I'm sure. You all have a good one. Don't work hard. I'll probably see some of you in AMP's 10 o'clock stream for a few minutes. See ya.